Yes, this is going to be commentary for the 15th chapter of my book, Metadimensional. The book is available on Kindle as an ebook and for listening for free on Google Play as an audiobook. And the links are in the description. Okay, so the chapter 15th is called Hypercontent. And what it discusses is the content, the type of stuff that you can find in hyper perspectives that I described in the previous chapter, the ways in which perspectives change, the kind of things that you may perceive as your next your option to choose from. You have the wakeful perspective that is choosing to follow the laws of nature, but you have other things like the kind of perspectives that you would perceive if you were to think about something else other than what you actually perceive at the moment. And some of them include memories, the extraction of memories, and some of them include just thinking about how would reality be if you fast forward a bit. So you will, like, let's say if you throw a ball, you can fast forward to the point where the ball would land and move accordingly, let's say, to catch it. So all of these, not all of these, some of these fall into the category of what I call space-time transformation, like perceiving something from what you think is a different time and perhaps a different place, memories, and like where the ball would fall. For example, like these are just two examples. But this also, so from that you get to this kind of question. So why is it that I can think about perceived memories if everything that reality is just a perception? If the wakeful reality is a perceptual reality, why can't I just move back in time by perceiving the past? Is that possible? So, it is kind of possible. Like, why not? But that's not the point. If you go back in time, you wouldn't know that you went back in time, right? And if you do know that you went back in time, that means that you have still tethered to the present. So that's not, you didn't move back in time. But this kind of discussion, these kind of questions, the same with, like, if you think about clairvoyance, can I perceive things that are, let's say, behind a counter? Or can I perceive someone else's cards in a poker game? Is there a way to do that? And like, maybe there is. I mean, you have a body that has all the information to produce the reality that you perceive, and insofar as that reality includes the cards that, let's say, someone who you play with sees, then you should be able to perceive it somehow. Like, there should be access for that. So what I'm saying is, like, when you're thinking about hyper perspective, you quite quickly run into the question of the supernatural. Like, what's the boundaries of perception, and why I think some things are supernatural and why some things aren't. And so it's not, I think the main thing to take from this is that this whole, I can see the value. Like, people think, oh, I can exploit this, and I can become, let's say, richer if I knew what others knew, and if I could change time and like go back in time and change. So going back in time again, that doesn't work, because to know that you went back in time, you're still tethered to the present. But this whole kind of discussion is showing a problem we have, not just with the rational natural world, the laws of nature, science, all that. Like I said that we have problems with that, but we also have a big problem with the supernatural, because we're thinking about the supernatural in terms of the natural. Like, we think if something is supernatural, then it's going to be just a slight extension of the natural, but we're going to keep everything else, right? If we have ability to let's say, to remote view, we'll get everything else that everyone else perceives, but we get this extra. That's the idea. We get this extra ability somehow. But if you get this extra ability somehow, it means that it's embedded inside the laws of nature already. So you're not actually looking for supernatural. If you're looking for supernatural, you're going to find a different thing. And it so happens that for free will to exist, and for experience to be fundamental, free will necessarily exists. I'll do this will come later in the book, but well, it's because it's causally independent from the thing that it perceives, because the things that it perceives don't exist, so it can bound it. And the other things that inspire these perceptions, the objective substrate, is the fundamental dimensions are by definition causally independent from experience. So once you go there, then you realize everything is a every single moment is a breach of the laws of nature, and this whole kind of thought about the supernatural seems provincial. Like it's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. Part of the problem for understanding, like comprehending the consequences of the what we learned from, let's say, from quantum field theory about the measurement effect, what we if we even consider the idea of free will, is that it's so easy to ignore how far it is from what we thought the supernatural would be. When you have the ability to change the laws of nature, it's not like you are, or to breach the laws of nature, just kind of like changing them. It's not the same as the ability to see past someone, like to do remote view or to time travel. It's something else. It's complete detachment from everything that you see in the real world, like in the wakeful physical world, from the shared reality. It's a complete departure from it. This is the kind of stuff that we kind of miss, because everyone, even those that are really care about the supernatural, don't do the metaphysics properly.